There is a specific neurosis unique to modern professionals. It is the persistent, gnawing belief that your real life, your happy, stress-free, abundant life, is waiting for you exactly one promotion away. We tell ourselves, if I just make 20% more, I will finally have enough. Meet Liam. 5 years ago, Liam was a junior executive making a modest salary. He rode a bicycle, shared a small apartment, and brewed his own coffee. By all objective historical standards, his life was safe and comfortable. But the modern economy is not built on comfort. It is built on perpetual dissatisfaction. So Liam worked. He optimized his resume, sacrificed his evenings, and eventually, he got what he wanted. His income doubled. Then it tripled. He crossed the magical threshold of a 6-figure salary. He had mathematically won the game. But psychologically, the game was just beginning. When the money arrived, a silent phenomenon called lifestyle inflation infiltrated Liam's life. It wasn't a sudden explosion of greed. It was a series of subtle, highly justifiable micro upgrades. His shared apartment became a luxury downtown penthouse. His bicycle evolved into a financed European sports car. His generic coffee became a $7 artisanal daily habit. Without realizing it, Liam stepped onto the hedonic treadmill. Every time he bought a new status symbol, his dopamine spiked, only to inevitably crash a few weeks later, leaving him craving the next upgrade just to feel normal. He had traded traditional values for consumer culture. He wasn't buying things for their utility anymore. He was engaging in conspicuous consumption. He was purchasing an identity to signal his status to peers he secretly didn't even like. He traded deep, meaningful weekend conversations with old friends for VIP networking galas where everyone was quietly terrified of being outshined. To maintain this illusion, Liam fell into the big 3 wealth-destroying traps. First, spatial inflation. He paid a premium for a massive apartment filled with empty guest rooms he never used, trapping himself in exorbitant utility and maintenance costs. He was paying a mortgage on empty air. Second, the depreciating ego. He financed a car that lost 20% of its value the second he drove it off the lot. He was paying compound interest on a sinking ship, all for the privilege of a brand logo on his steering wheel. Third, planned obsolescence. He became locked in a tech ecosystem that demanded a $1,000 upgrade every 12 months just to keep his gadgets from feeling obsolete. Despite earning a top-tier salary, Liam's actual net worth was stagnant. He had unknowingly forged a set of golden handcuffs. His high overhead meant he could never quit, never take a risk, and never rest. His lifestyle now owned him. The breaking point didn't happen during a market crash. It happened on a random Tuesday night at 2 a.m. Liam was sitting on his imported Italian leather sofa, exhausted from a 14-hour workday. He opened his banking app to pay his exorbitant credit card bill. After hitting transfer, he looked at his savings account balance. It was exactly the same as it was 5 years ago when he was riding a bicycle. A wave of profound, existential dread washed over him. He had sacrificed his 20s, his health, and his relationships for this aesthetic of wealth. Yet he was one missed paycheck away from ruin. He had climbed to the very top of the ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. The illusion shattered. That night, Liam decided to stop surviving and start designing. He realized that escaping consumer culture didn't mean taking a vow of poverty. It meant practicing intentional living. He became the architect of his own existence. He implemented the 48-hour rule to kill impulse purchases. He ruthlessly audited his expenses, calculating his joy ROI. He realized he derived zero intrinsic joy from the luxury car, so he sold it and bought a reliable, used hybrid in cash. The golden handcuffs fell off. He embraced a new kind of minimalism, not an aesthetic of deprivation, but a ruthless elimination of the unessential to make space for what truly mattered. He stopped using technology as an escape and started using it exclusively as a tool to compress his workload. He reinstated the Sunday reset, a dedicated hour to align his calendar and his capital with his deepest values. He blended modern convenience with traditional priorities. He used automated index funds to build wealth silently while spending his actual time cooking slow meals and reconnecting with old friends. As Liam stripped away the excess, his savings exploded. But more importantly, his cognitive bandwidth returned. He looked at the scientific data on money and happiness and realized the ultimate truth. Money doesn't buy happiness by acquiring objects. It buys happiness by eradicating misery and purchasing autonomy. He stopped buying static, depreciating assets and started buying back his time. He spent his surplus on shared experiences, travel, and pro-social giving, the only things empirically proven to yield compounding emotional interest. And finally, he did the most dangerous thing a consumer can do in a capitalist society. He defined his personal enough. He calculated the exact number that covered his core values, his safety, and his peace of mind. And when society tried to move the goalpost, he simply refused to play the game. Liam's journey from more to just right is a blueprint for the modern age. Wealth is not the accumulation of visible status symbols. True wealth is having a low overhead, a high savings rate, and the absolute freedom to wake up every day and say, I own my time. Tomorrow, we are wrapping up this incredible week with a special podcast-style episode, Modern Life, Old Values. We will feature behavioral economists and real-world stories discussing the exact psychology of identity and minimalism. Make sure you tune in. Until then, ask yourself, are you driving your lifestyle, or is your lifestyle driving you?